Dear student, greetings of the day. And as you can see that today I am going to discuss about on the topic incidental or accidental sampling. In my previous lecture, I have already spoke about on the concept of sampling and the characteristics of sampling. And now in this current lecture, I am going to explain incidental or accidental sampling in detail. So without taking much time, let's start our today's topic. So first we will understand the concept of incidental or accidental sampling. So basically, incidental or accidental sampling refers to a non-probability sampling technique in which the participants are selected based on their availability and convenience to the researcher. This approach is a particularly useful when it is challenging to use more structured or scientifically rigorous sampling method, such as random sampling or standard sampling. Basically, researchers typically resort to incidental sampling when facing the constraint like a limited time, financial resources, or geographical across to the participants. In incidental sampling, the researchers select the individuals who are easily accessible, such as a pupil from a specific location or those encountered during the routine activities. For instance, researchers may gather data from the students at a university, customers at a store, or in a public area and a public space. However, this convenience comes at the expense of scientific rigor, which leads to both advantages and disadvantages. So overall, we can say that about the incidental or accidental sampling, the term incidental or accidental apply to those samples that are taken because they are most frequently available. This refers to the group which are used to as a sample of a population because they are readily available or because the researcher is unable to employ more acceptable sampling method. So, after discussing about the concept of incidental or accidental sampling, now next we are going to discuss about the merits. So, if we talk about the merits of incidental and accidental sampling, so as you can see that the first one is ease to use. If we talk about ease to use, that means incidental sampling is an extremely easy method to implement because it doesn't require the researcher to follow the strict protocols or methodologies. Instead of worrying about selecting a representative sample or tracking down hard to reach participants, the researcher can quickly choose the participants who are nearby and easily accessible and available. This is especially beneficial in the case where the researcher is exploratory or the researcher simply needs a quick snapshot of certain cases where the researcher, and if we talk about the incidental sampling, so for example, if a researcher needs to collect feedback from the customers in a shopping mall, they can just ask those who are present rather than seeking out a broad cross section of our shoppers. So this method is this technique is very simple and very easy to understand and easy to use it. Any researchers can implement these methods in their research process. Now, the second one is frequent use in behavioral science. Behavioral sciences, which focus on studying the human actions, thoughts, emotions, and interactions, often use incident sampling due to the unpredictable and complex nature of a human behavior. Researchers studying these topics may find it practical to observe or interview participants who are really available, as it often provides insight into a typical or day-to-day behavior. If we talk about the examples, so like psychologists conducting a research on the streets and the street labels in a college, students might interview students in a common areas like a library or a cafeteria. Although this doesn't guarantee a representative sample, it can provide a meaningful insight that don't require a complex randomization. So now next one is economical. If we talk about the accidental sampling, so incidental sampling is a cost-effective method because it requires a minimal resources. And by eliminating the needs of extensive travel, advertising, or targeted recruitment, researcher can save the time, both the time and money also. For example, a study conducted at a single location, such as a school or a coffee, and the office time saves the cost associated with the trying to reach participant in a multiple areas or across the demographics. And this makes it especially attractive for the researchers working with a limited budget or under the time constraint, as they simply gather data from whoever is nearby. So these are the merits of accidental sampling. So as you can see that the first one was it is very easy method of a sampling. Second one is it is frequently used method in a behavioral science. And the last one is it reduces the time, money, and energy. And the last one is it is an economical method. So this method is very useful for the researcher. Researcher can use this method for collecting the data, collecting the samples from these techniques. After discussing about the merits, let's discuss about the demerits. If we talk about the demerits of accidental sampling, so basically the first one is non-representative of the population. One of the biggest drawbacks of incidental sampling is that it often fails to accurately reflect the characteristics of the broader population. And this is because the sample is selected based on availability rather than through a systematic process that ensure the representation across key demographics. If we talk about the example, so if a researcher selects a sample of a university students to represent the general population, and the sample might not account for the difference in age and socioeconomic status or a cultural background. As a result, the findings from the incidental sampling may not be generalized to the other population. And this lack of representativeness can lead to a skewed result, especially when the research aims to make a broader conclusion about a population. Now, the next one is prone to error. If we talk about the accidental sampling, so the lack of control in a participant selection means that errors are more likely to occur. Since incidental sampling doesn't prioritize diversity or a balance in the sample, the researcher may unintentionally introduce biasness or overlook key variables. For instance, if the sample primarily includes the people from a specific age group or a gender, they can and the social background also, the findings might be a bias towards towards the views of a behaviors of the particular group. And these errors can lead to a misleading conclusions as the sample may not capture the full range of perspectives or experience present in the population. So this is a particularly problematic for the research in a field like a sociology or a psychology where the nuanced variations in a behavior or attitudes can significantly impact the result. And the third one is unsuitable for parametric statics. So if we talk about the unsuitable for parametric statics, that means parametric statics method such as t-test, ANOVA, and regression analysis rely on the certain assumptions about the data, and including the assumptions that the sample comes from a population that follows a normal distribution. However, because incidental sampling is not random and may not produce a representative sample, and data may not meet these statistical assumptions. For instance, if the sample is biased or limited in a scope, the results from the parametric statics and the test may be not be reliable and valid. So the limits and the ability of the researchers to apply the sophisticated statistical techniques, reducing the overall validity of the research. And as a research and as a result, researcher using a incidental sampling may need to rely on the non-parametric methods, which have a fewer assumptions but are less powerful in detecting the effects or trends. So in this way, overall, we can say that about the incidental and accidental sampling. Generally, incidental or accidental sampling is a practical method when researchers face a logistic challenges such as the time or resources constraints and need to quickly gather the data. And it is a simplicity, frequent use in a behavioral science, and cost effectiveness make it an attractive options for a preliminary studies or when the researcher are exploring a new areas. And however, it is important, it is very essential to recognize that this convenience comes at the cost of scientific rigor. The lack of representativeness, potential for errors, and limitation in a statistical analysis are significant drawbacks. And researchers should be continuous about the generalization for their findings, for their results, and consider these limitations when interpreting the result or applying them to a broader context. So, when possible, incidental sampling should be supplemented with the other more robust methods to enhance the reliability, validity, and accuracy of the finding. So, this is all about the accidental and incidental sampling method. So, overall, we can say that this method is very essential, very important for the researcher. The researcher can select the samples through these techniques, through this method for their findings. Thank you.